Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to The Mixer, the segment on this channel where I give you guys all sorts of detailed analyses from all walks of life. I'll talk about people, places, animals, food, traveling, sports, the whole 9 yards, hence why it's called The Mixer. I mix things up here in this whole real crazy playlist with over 200 freaking videos at this point, you know. And today's video is actually one that I have already done a couple of years ago when my channel was starting to evolve and become this new thing that I have today with the background and stuff and the new editing, you know. And on that occasion, I was starting to understand a little bit more how ice hockey was. I was still becoming a fan, didn't have too much knowledge, and today I am much more advanced in that area there. I have become a very big fan of the NHL. You know, I do have a team that I support as well, so I wanted to come back here and redo this video in a different way and probably hopefully give you guys something a little bit better than the first time around, you know. And I have been analyzing my athlete videos, you know, over the years, and I'm going to try to take on a different format here with this one, you know, and see if I can follow it with the subsequent ones. And basically I'm going to be trying to make them a little bit short and focusing less on the details and more about the legacy of the athletes in question, you know. And today I'm going to be talking about literally the greatest athlete ever to have played ice hockey, such that his nickname literally is the Great One, Wayne Douglas Gretzky. You know him, you love him. Today he's kind of old, he's 62, but in his heyday he was just, it's really impossible to describe Wayne Gretzky without literally using the word perfect, you know. He had a 20-year career in the NHL from 1979 to 1999 where he played for 4 different teams, most notably the Edmonton Oilers, where he actually won 4 Stanley Cups and essentially became one of the greatest players of all time there, you know. But he also played for the Los Angeles Kings, then later he went on to play for the St. Louis Blues and essentially completely ended his career in the New York Rangers, you know. He did go on to become a coach, you know. He was a pretty successful head coach as well. He had a career as a coach from 2005 to 2009, you know, but still, I'm going to be trying to focus more on him as a player, you know. There is a reason why he's known as the Great One, you know. He himself was an amazing, phenomenal player who was pretty much adept, you know. It's like you're playing a video game and you have a player who's 99 in every single one of the stat attributes, you know. Was freaking insane, and he's actually considered to be the greatest by a lot of different sports writers and journalists and other athletes, you know. Like, pretty much everybody says he is unanimously the greatest, you know. And Wayne has quite a few accomplishments in his career, most notably 61 records within the NHL, you know, across a few different categories. So he actually has 40 regular season records and 15 playoff records and 6 all-star records, you know. So this guy was freaking insane, and I'm going to be trying to give you a little bit more information about what he did, you know. Now, essentially, aside from all of his other statistics, he is actually right now the leading goal scorer, assist producer, and point scorer in NHL history, which I'm going to cover later. And this is actually scary. He actually has more assists than any other player has points, you know. In case you don't know how ice hockey works, you know, whenever you score a goal, that's a point, and if you give an assist, that's another point. So let's say you score 3 goals in a game and give 2 assists, you have 5 points. That's how points work. So you take the total number of goals and assists that a player scored, and that's his total career points. And Wayne has given more assists than any player has scored points, you know. So among his records, you know, he is the only player ever to total over 200 points in one season, which he did 4 freaking times, you know, in his entire career, which is insane. And also he tallied over 100 points in 16 different seasons, 14 being consecutive. Nobody has even come close, man, you know. It's freaking insane. He actually, he kind of used to set up behind the goal net, which became known as Gretzky's office, you know. He would take the puck and just, you know, survey and analyze the situation before coming into play. He had a very phenomenal reading of the game. He studied everything that was going on, analyzing every single detail, you know. And he played so well that it's almost like he had a sixth sense, you know. He could anticipate where the puck was going to be, and he could dodge checks very well. In hockey, a check is when a player hits another player and they both fall, you know, which is completely allowed, you know, unless it's too violent, you know. And players would always try to check him, but he would always dodge them so perfectly, almost like he saw them coming, you know. It's freaking insane, man, you know. And ever since his young days, he was a mile above his peers, you know. And even though he was kind of short, you know, his kind of unimpressive size and strength, he actually combined that with a lot of intelligence, stamina, his reading of the game, you know. Everything was unparalleled. It was insane how Wayne Gretzky played hockey, you know. It was freaking insane. He always executed the right move at the right time. And before I continue, let's take a look at a clip here of Wayne doing his thing back in his heyday.
Up the middle and taken away. Here's a break for Gretzky. He's all alone. Gretzky, Vancouver's zone. He shoots. He scores.
even if you're not a fan of hockey, you gotta admit, that's pretty cool. That is pretty awesome, and you don't have to be a fanatic of the NHL to know that Wayne Gretzky really knew what he was doing on the ice, you know? And we're talking about a guy who was actually playing ice hockey when by the time he was 3, you know? Between 3 and 12 years old, he could be out on the ice for about 10 hours a day, he said, you know? Like, he would literally wake up early, go on the ice to skate, go to school, come home and skate, then have dinner, and then ask his mom to let him skate some more, you know? That's literally what he would do. His dad was one of his earliest trainers, you know? And when he was 10 years old, he actually scored 378 goals in a season, a minor league, of course, you know? And he later said it is because he had a head start on the other kids, you know? Because some of the kids had about 4 or so years of experience on the ice, whereas Wayne had 8, you know? So he was really freaking insane. You know, he really, really loved the game. He had a passion for it, which you could see throughout his career. He actually began playing for the Indianapolis Racers, you know, in the WHA, the World Hockey Association, which was actually, it actually began in 1972 and folded in 1979, where Wayne actually joined the NHL. He wasn't drafted. He is to this day still undrafted, but because he was already playing for the Edmonton Oilers, you know, there was an NHL expansion draft that allowed them to go there, but they actually brought them down to the bottom of the table because of this, you know, a whole complicated thing that I don't want to talk about. But the thing is that once Wayne started to show how good he was on the ice, you know, the Edmonton Oilers started to become a much better team, you know. And the thing is that Wayne was really scary on the ice because everything that he did had a kind of unhurriedness, you know. Everything seemed to be very well calculated. He was never in a rush. He never hurried, you know. He never body checked anybody to get an advantage. He would, even if he didn't have the puck, he would always be skating around and analyzing every single little thing that was going on. It's like he was scanning it, you know, with a technological eye. He saw everything that was going on and he knew exactly where the players were and what they were doing, what they were trying to do. It is literally like he had eyes on the back of his head sometimes, you know. And when it came to actually getting the puck, it was impossible for you to stop Wayne, you know. I'm not talking like, you know, Bobby Orr, you know. He wasn't like the pocket rocket. It's not that he was fast, it's that he was intelligent. He is considered to be the smartest player in NHL history because he knew everything that was going on. He studied the game religiously, man. We're talking like freaking Peyton Manning in football, you know. It's like he could call audibles on the fly. He would memorize everything. And Wayne had this very elegant grace to him, you know. He would glide through players, he would grab the puck, and it's almost like he would shoot in slow motion, but at the same time, he would do it very fast. But the way he played, if you watched him, it felt like everything was going in slow motion because of how perfect it was. Everything was so pinpoint accurate with Wayne, you know. He would grab the puck and aim it at the goal, then he would take the shot and the puck would weave perfectly through 3 different players and get past the goaltender before he even knew what the hell was going on, you know. It was insane. And Wayne could shoot very fast, you know. Like, he would have the puck in the stick, and all of a sudden, boom, he would shoot, and you didn't even know what the hell was going on, you know. So it was really, really crazy, you know. He was kind of small, he wasn't really strong, but he made up for that with his tactical readouts and his skills, you know, his prowess, and he started to become a natural leader within the Edmonton Oilers, where he did have a lot of his success, you know. He would unfortunately never win a Stanley Cup after leaving the Oilers, but his legacy was not tarnished at all in any form, shape, or manner, you know, because, bro, he pretty much put the Oilers on the map, and he did popularize ice hockey a lot, you know, especially because he played for the Canadian national team. But it was freaking crazy, you know. It's almost like, and his father trained him since he was a kid, so he had like his own homemade ice rink, you know. It was really freaking crazy. It's like this guy, it's almost like he was a machine, you know. Wayne was almost like a well-oiled machine that you could just, like, I don't know, it's all about practicing. He always did say that what he has was not a God-given gift, you know. He wasn't born with it. He just loved the game and he practiced religiously over and over and over again, which just goes to show you that old saying that practice really does make perfect, you know. And it's really crazy, man, you know. His athleticism was just unparalleled at the time, you know. It's literally like he would, for example, he would do some exercise tests, you know, with the team, and then like right here, it says that this one exercise physiologist, you know, he said that Wayne used to score so high that he thought the machine had broken, bro. That is freaking insane, you know. A lot of others, and also his stamina is also indicated by how he would score a lot of his goals later in the game. So a hockey game has 3 different quarters, and here we go. This is really cool. So he often scored late in the game. So in the year that he scored his record 92 goals in the NHL, 22 of them went in the net during the first period, 30 in the second, and 40 of them were in the third period. I'm going to get to that 92 goals later. Now I'm going to talk about some of his records, but before that, let's take a look at the clip here of Wayne.
And Gretzky will get it across, and the Blues come back. This is Hull, up to Gretzky, got it back across, Gretzky shoots, scores!
the thing with Wayne is that, like, when he was in his heyday and when he was always setting up his teammates to get the goals, you know, his assists were probably the thing that most made people think that he had some kind of extra sensory perception, you know, because like he could actually, it's not like he saw his teammates on the ice, he sensed them, you know. It's almost like he could pass them, you know, with his eyes closed. Like he would read the game in such a way that he knew where his teammates were gonna be, and he could give off the puck to them, which they would catch it and score a goal. You know, that's why he had so many assists. Like, it's like he literally knew where they were going to be before they were there. It's like he was freaking clairvoyant, man. It's actually kind of annoying, but he was also very, despite being so, you know, fierce on the ice, you know, like he was very down to earth and wasn't very aggressive, and he did play lacrosse, you know. I believe he did play at some point. He was a batter, so that's actually where he learned to avoid the crosses, you know, the checking, because in hockey there are a lot of cross checking. You know, the players will try to hit you with their stick, which is a foul, but they'll try to ram into. But Wayne would always get the better of him. He would either speed up and to get away or slow down and weave past him, you know. There was this one player who even said that trying to body check Wayne Gretzky was like trying to hold on to fog, you know. It's like you're trying to hug smoke, you know. Like you think he's there, then you try to check him and then he's gone, you know. It's like what the hell just happened, you know. It's like he wasn't even there at all. He was a ghost. So he also translated his pros into his international play. He did represent Canada, you know, in quite a few different competitions. Unfortunately, he never won an Olympic gold medal, but he began his career with them in 1978 in the World Junior Championships, you know. He began his career when he was 18. So, and already was drafted to the national team, you know. He did go on to win 3 Canada Cups with them, you know. So that was in 1984, 1987, and 1991. And then he actually, in 1984, 87, and 91. He actually won the silver medal in 81. He did go to the World Cup in 96, you know, but Canada only won silver. You know, he went to the World Championships, this and that, but he actually had a pretty good prowess with them, you know. But of course, we know him more for what he did with the Oilers and other NHL teams, you know, but he was still really okay in the national team. He actually, of course, holds records for that as well, with the most amount of goals with 20 goals, and the most assists with 28 assists, and the most overall points with 48 points in best hockey, you know. So it's really hard to like not be impressed by Wayne, you know, because everything about him was graceful. He was literally like a swan on the ice, and he was very outspoken against violence, you know. He did start, like he retired in the late 90s, so he did start to kind of see a little bit of the roughness era, you know, of hockey, when it started to get a little bit more aggressive, you know. And I believe he came from an era where there were no helmets. I don't think there were helmets in like the late 70s and early 80s, but he did eventually start using them. I'm not sure, you can fact check me on that, but he did not like violence. He did not like fighting and brawls. He was always against it, you know. And that's why he was so down to earth while he was on the ice, you know. He was very fierce. He was a really good competitor, but he did not ever get into physical violence, you know. And I'm going to be talking a little bit more now about his career statistics, you know, just a little bit, because we already talked about the study of the game, you know, how what he has is instinct, you know. He says that it's a lot of practice and a lot of instinct, like, you know, the more you do something, the better you get at it. It's like that theory that, for example, Bruce Lee, the greatest fighter ever, once said that he does not fear the man who knows 10,000 kicks, you know, the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks. He fears the man who has practiced the same kick 10,000 times or something like that. I don't know, maybe just 1,000. Like, I don't fear the guy who knows 1,000 kicks but did the same kick 1,000. I don't know. But there is this theory that if you do anything in the world 10,000 times or more, you're going to be a master at it, you know. And Wayne really embodied this because he was freaking insane. So now here's the thing. I'm going to be talking more about his legacy later. You pretty much already know that, you know. But I'm going to be giving you guys just a little bit of his career statistics, you know. Like I said, 61 NHL records, you know, which is freaking crazy. And in total, Wayne Gretzky scored in his career 3,239 points, which is freaking bonkers, man. Like, I did that in NHL 21 in the Be a Pro career. That's actually the achievement that I unlocked for beating his points, you know. And within those points, he has scored 1,016 goals with, oh my god, man, scoring 1,000 goals. I mean, not even Cristiano Ronaldo has that in soccer, you know, or Messi. They might get to it one day, but Pele does, but a lot of them were unofficial, you know, but still. And also, this is crazy, 2,233 assists. No, sorry, 2,223 assists. I gave him 10 more there by accident, you know. So more assists than any player in history in NHL has scored points, which is freaking insane. A little bit about his points, you know. He became He scored his first 1,000 career points faster than any other player in NHL history. It took him 424 games to score his first 1,000 points. Then for the second 1,000, you know, so from 1,000 to 2,000, he scored those faster than any other player other than himself. It took him 433 games to score that, you know, and holy freaking crap. Now, just a few of his records, because it's going to be freaking crazy. In the regular season, he has the record for most goals with 894. Nobody even comes close. And also assists with, oh my god, 1,963, bro. Holy freaking crap. And also points. This is all the regular season, 2,857, all right, with all of those teams that he played for. And also the most hat tricks with 50, you know, and holy freaking crap, man. So yes, here we go. There was also, in 1987, he had 47 playoff points, you know, and 31 assists, you know, and there's still the, okay, you know what, forget that. Let me just talk about what the actual one, right? So here's the thing. He has 4 Stanley Cups, like I said before, all of them won with the Edmonton Oilers, you know, so he won in 84 and 85, 2 straight ones. I don't know what happened in 86, but he won again in 87 and 88, you know, and now we're going to get to some of his other trophies, you know. He was named the MVP of the playoffs just once. He won just one Conn Smythe trophy? Okay, well, he also won the Ted Lindsay Award 5 times, you know, which it used to be called back then the Lester B. Pearson Award, you know. The Ted Lindsay Award, you know, is for the most outstanding player. And also, he was given, here we go. Oh yes, he was also given the Lady Byng Trophy, you know, 5 times, you know, between 80 and 99, which is for sportsmanship and performance. No, hockey has a lot of freaking trophies, you know. And also, let me see if I can find the rest. I know there's more. I know there's a lot more here. I just gotta find them. Holy freaking crap. Here we go. Oh yes, he was also an 8-time All-NHL first team, you know, which is really impressive as well, and a 7-time All-NHL second team. But I want more. I know there's more. I know there's more. Hold on a second. I gotta find it here. It's all in the cheat sheet. Okay, so here we go. Ha! Yes, he had 9 Hart trophies, you know, for being the most valuable player, the MVP, and 10 Art Ross trophies, you know, for having scored the most points in the season. And also, he has 2 Conn Smythe trophies as the playoff MVP, and like I said before, the 5 Ted Lindsay, you know. And also, he led the league in goal scoring 5 times, and he led the league in assists 16 times. Oh my god, man. Holy freaking crap. Let me take a breather here and show you guys another clip of him.
Some of the scoring might go up in this game if they got Fedorov and Korea and all these people back. Here's Gretzky with room. He scores! Oh, baby. A blast by Wayne Gretzky gives the Rangers a 3-2 lead. LaFontaine's line's gotten a couple of goals. The Rangers needed something from another line, and Gretzky shot here. Sam Hasek moved out, played the puck.
Now, when Gretzky retired from professional hockey in 1999, he was immediately inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame, which made him the most recent player to have the waiting period waived, you know, because usually you have to wait a while to be inducted, but he was just, you know what, nope, you're immediately going in, I don't care, forget the rules, you know, you're the greatest, you know, you are the great one. So, and he also had his number 99 jersey retired league-wide, you know, which made him the first player, and so far I think the only player in NHL history to have his number retired, you know. A similar thing happened in baseball when Jackie Robinson's number 42 was retired in 1997, and most recently Bill Russell's number 6 was retired. In basketballs, although a few players can still use it. So yeah, I mean, it's freaking crazy. And such was Wayne's legacy in hockey that he actually had a few awards named after him, which is freaking insane. Like, for example, the Wayne Gretzky International. The Wayne Gretzky International Award, which is actually presented by the United States Hockey Hall of Fame to honor international individuals, you know, who have made major contributions to the growth and advancement of hockey in America. And there is also the Wayne Gretzky 99 Award, which is given to the most valuable player in the Ontario Hockey League playoffs, you know. And then there is also the Wayne Gretzky Trophy, which is awarded to the playoff champion of the OHL's Western Conference, you know. So yeah, I mean, even the Minor Hockey League Association has an award named for him, you know. So this guy was freaking insane. This guy was awesome, man. That is essentially it. I think I have covered pretty much everything, you know, so freaking awesome, bro. This video was a little bit longer than the first time, but probably going to be considerably shorter than the other ones that I do. I'm going to try to adopt this format here where I give you guys as much of like a summarized little bit of a mini autobiography as I can, because when I was doing FIFA 22 last year and doing these vlogs for the players, I chose to do quite a few because I do like soccer a lot and I know a lot about it, but the videos unfortunately just kept getting longer and longer. They were much more work to do, so I'm going to be trying to make it shorter. I'm going to be recording a few more videos about hockey players, and hopefully they will be around this here, like the 20 or so minute mark. And I guess that's it. If you are a much bigger hockey fan than I am, which I know there are many of you out there, I'm sorry if I butchered any details. I tried to give you as much good information as possible, you know. Feel free to watch other docs or read about Wayne Gretzky, you know, because he truly is the greatest of all time. Nobody even comes close within the sport of hockey. And that's it for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video because I already anticipate that it's going to be a lot of work to put together, but it is a lot of fun. I had fun talking about Wayne, you know, and I have a few other ones as well, you know, other players who are known as the blank one, you know. It's going to be really cool. And that's it. Let me know in the comments below what you think, you know, and also if you happen to like this video, please go ahead and give it a like, and also subscribe to my channel because I release videos every single day. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell too so you can know exactly what time I upload, and it's all good. And stay tuned because there is much more hockey content coming down the line. I'm just getting started with NHL 22, and there will be many more vlogs related to the sport, you know, as the gameplays go on. And that's it, guys. This is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Roll the outro screen.